with COVR, the Coalition of Visionary Resources, and welcome to my daily chatcast. I am here with award-winning author Cristina Smith. She is the author of the Yoga for the Brain series, and we're really excited to talk to her about it. She's also the founder of the Subtle Energy Center. She helps readers boost their health and happiness through the power of positive play, and authors get their messages to thousands of readers hungry for their wisdom. Cristina lives in the lovely forest community of Nevada City, California. So, hi, Cristina. Thank you so much
Tracee.
for
so
sitting with me today. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you. I'm staying safe, staying home, but that's not unusual for me because I've been working from home for decades. So it's kind of nice that everybody else kind of has that benefit now to see how they like it, if it suits them or not.
Absolutely. Do you feel an intense difference with all your neighbors being home? I know, because I too work from my home, and now that everyone else is home, I can feel that. I've been a little less productive.
Interesting.
Than normal.
Well, I have to admit,
It's been fascinating.
I live on 5 acres with BLM property around me, so I really kind of do live in the forest. So my neighbors are about the same too. I do have a couple of neighbors that live close by, but I've definitely noticed that the energy certainly everywhere has shifted. I mean, it's the season, and as so many of us in the visionary community know, this is a shift of the seasons of humanity. It's the consciousness shift that we were all talking about, but it certainly didn't think it was going to come this way. Oh, no.
Right.
So, it's kind of like we've been waiting. Here we were all looking forward to 2020 ever since even 2012, and it was going to be the 2020 shift. And wow, it wasn't kind of like what we thought it was going to look like.
Yes.
So that's really.
Well, I think. No, go ahead.
I just think it's really shifting everybody's paradigm, and it's been kind of a kaleidoscope whack for a lot of us in the consciousness community.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really making people do a lot more self-reflection, whether or not they want to. And really dealing with some of their inner emotions, some subtle anxieties, subtle depression, subtle, irritations, things that have been going on, but they could just push them away because they have all this work and this, fast daily pace to put all their energy into. And now nobody has that, and it's intense for all of us. Tell me about your book series and maybe some of the information that you have that can help people today.
Well, cool. I certainly can. And as you can see, the Yoga for the Brain series was the 2019 COVR winner of the Best Book Series. And we have 5 books in our series, and they're all a lot of fun. And what we do is help bring health and happiness to folks through the power of positive play. And it's kind of like this subversive little way to get subtle energy informations and energy medicine and all the kinds of consciousness work into people who wouldn't normally access it, as well as giving the conscious community another way to work with their brains and their consciousness. So we have 5 books. This is the most recent one. It's called Inspired Wisdom Word Search Yoga for the Brain, and it features 60 different authors sharing their wisdom. I write the chapters in between the puzzles, so you get 60 different puzzles. And let me just show you there. All of the word search books are kind of like that. So it's kind of fun. Over here, you have about a little story that's by each author. And then, there's tends to be uplifting and consciousness, wellness oriented. Then from this story, we take the words and put them down here, and then you search for all the words. And then this is the really cool part. After you've found all the words, the letters remaining decode a secret message. That is kind of like, a meta thought or some kind of powerful saying or affirmation to work through with your day. And in the chapters in between.
I love that.
Yeah. Cool. In the chapters. Go ahead.
I love word searches.
Oh, cool. Well, then you're going to love this. In the chapters in between, I talk about
Yes.
things like quantum consciousness, the yoga of mantra. This particular book has a book on the power of prayer, and we talk about how and why prayer works. So it's bringing all of our consciousness information into a different format so more people can access it. Do you want me to go through the rest of them?
Right. So it sounds like, yeah, definitely.
Okay, because
Yes.
this
Please do.
This one, it has won numerous literary awards, as have all of the rest of my books. This is called Animal Wisdom Word Search, which I created with animal communicator Lauren McCall. So it contains 60 animal communications, some of them from beyond with pets who have passed. And some of them are in the wild, some of them are domestic. It's pretty fascinating. They're from all over the world. So that's a lot of fun.
Wow.
And then before that, one of the things that when I was building my brand, I envisioned how I wanted my series to look. And so we created a series brand that has the title, and then inside each circle is a sacred symbol. So I really enjoy the energy of just being able to have these symbols go out into the world. Like before we had the lotus and the owl, and here we have the eye of Horus. And this book is called The Word Search Oracle, and it's with Doherty Wesley, who writes used to write a daily oracle, and now she's working with Taming the Monkey Mind as her brand. And then we have the Word Search Sage. Nice symbol there, eh? Good one for these times. And this is from Ingrid Coffin, who has created MetaThoughts, and she is a metaphysical teacher. And then this was our first one. Called the Dow of Sudoko, which started it all. And this is actually a Sudoku book, and it's basically the story of how I used learning how to play Sudoku as a spiritual experience of surrender. Because I thought Sudoku was like, but this is how I got over myself. And, you can use as we all know, you can use anything as a learning tool in your spiritual development. So this is the one I did. And the one thing that I want to share with you about these books that makes it so special is I do make them with my brother. So my brother makes all the puzzles. So it's been great for our relationship.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell me, why did you go regarding Sudoku, and what changed your mind? Like why did you have a bad attitude towards it, and what changed for you?
Well, so my brother Rick is like one of these super brilliant genius math guys. And so he was always the golden math child. And I was always kind of the word people person. So I was like, Sudoku, my brain, I'm definitely more of a right brain person. I go for the more circular thinking, the more feminine oriented, that kind of thing. And so Sudoku looks like, I couldn't quite figure it out because I was so formatted into my brain. I was really over brained this way. And so I didn't want to do it because what? I wasn't good at it. And most of the time I don't like doing things that I'm not good at. Right. I think that's something that all of us struggle with in some way or fashion is that, and it's ridiculous because, we expect ourselves to be good at something without even having done it before or practiced it. And it's just the strangest thing that most of us get into. So that's why I was visiting Rick. It's kind of a fun story. He lives in Colorado. I lived in San Diego at the time. So I was visiting Rick, and I travel a lot, and I'd read everything on my iPad. I'd done everything in the book. So in true desperation, I looked at the Sudokus, and I kind of went, yuck, but I was really bored. So I tried them, and I thought I was going to be really terrible at them, and I was. But when I got off the plane, I told Rick, I tried this. And I said, I bet you're really good at it. And he said, yeah. I said, of course. So I tried a couple more at his house, and by the time I got back on the plane to go home, I made a decision because I'm a longtime spiritual student and 40-year meditator. I said, I've done lots of impossible things. I've worked with myself through tons of different situations. So this should be a no-brainer challenge. If I can do all these other things I've done in my inner world and translating to my outer world, surely I could teach myself how to play Sudoku. So I decided that in the TSA line, and by the time I got out, so I didn't chicken out. I went to the airport bookstore and bought a book of 300 easy Sudoku puzzles. I figured that gave me plenty of chance for the learning curve, and total failure. So a couple months go by, and I'm doing a puzzle, and yeah, I was really not very good at it. And I got better, and I started to learn how to shift my brain, because as practicing it, you know, it's really important to have a good eraser, but practicing it and doing it over and just allowing myself to fail without any kind of guilt or any other emotion surrounding it was huge. But as I got better, probably starting at, you know, not too far into the book, these realizations, these sayings would start to emerge. And I started jotting them down to write them down. So so in the Sudoku book, I have quotes below each puzzle, and a lot of them, like at least 60% of them, are the quotes that I got while I was doing the book. So one of them, I just opened to page.
Nice.
She says, like, remember to stop when you're behind. You can always wait until tomorrow. Or let's see, what else? Seeing is a result of looking with other eyes. Persistence and patience.
Seeing is the result
of looking with other eyes.
I want to read that one over again.
Seeing is the result of looking with other eyes.
Yes, that's good. That's a good, everybody needs that right now.
Yeah.
Like that right now is what is happening on every level.
So there's lots of quotes like that in here. So that's my Sudoku story.
That's hilarious. And I completely embrace the need to address directly what you can't continue to put off. You know, like whatever. I have always been the type of person that if there's a challenge, I want to go directly to it, rather because it's always there. If I tried to sidescape it, then it's always right here, just waiting for me at some time. So I think that's amazing. It sounds like it's an amazing series, and I think people would get a lot of use out of it. Now, how did you get into this industry?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur my whole career. So I've kind of combined as an entrepreneur. Well, many of us have to be able to do more than one thing. Some of us, you know, can do one thing, but so I spent most of my career as a writer and a marketing person, and along with being a chef and an events producer, because, you know, some of those are going to pay most of the time, and, you know, got to make a living, right? So it all worked together really well. And I started writing lots and lots of books, but never quite finished one. And I realized that my favorite form of writing is articles. And so when I had the vision of the Dow of Sudoko, boy, was my brother Rick surprised when I called him and asked him about doing a book. He just about dropped everything. But I realized that my favorite form is the article. So I get to share my joy, which is writing profound articles, capturing the essence of things that are pretty much subtle energy, fairly esoteric, translating them into language that's easily accessible, like a yoga for the brain. It kind of stretches you and then creates space and gives you ahas in that space in between. And so that's how I write my articles. And to me, it just works for so many different things. It's what I call high magic.
Yes, absolutely. So to wrap things up, if you had one piece of wisdom that has gotten you through your toughest time to offer to people right now while they're home feeling isolated or feeling overwhelmed, what would you offer them?
This too shall pass. Remember to take a breath and say that whenever you're feeling anxious or your mind is going this, you know, you have the hamster wheel going, and, you know, we all do it no matter how many years we've spent in our spiritual practice. This is really a whack. So, you know, if you can grab yourself and remember to take that breath and say, this too shall pass. It's a 10-second remedy for shifting your mindset.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with us at the Cover All member page. We really appreciate and value all of your contributions. And for everybody, thank you again. This has been Cristina Smith, and I'm Tracee Dunblazier for the Coalition of Visionary Resources.
Thank you so much,
Have a great
Tracee. And you are such a demon slayer. I love your name. Of course, you're out there slaying dragons. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Bye, everybody.